So I'm here with
Donn Felker.
Okay. And I have to admit, you've probably written the only Dummies book that would ever be interested in reading, which is Android for Dummies, right?
Yep.
That's actually sold really well, hasn't it?
Yeah, in February it hit the #1 bestseller in technology. So that's above all like C# books, above all Java books. Like it hit #1 in February on BookScan. So it was pretty exciting, and didn't expect that to happen. So
you
cool.
bought your matching now?
I wish. You know how it goes with book sales.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't received a royalty payment yet, so we'll see how it goes.
But it was the experience, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. Speaking of experience, your talk today is going to be on
Android tablet development. It's kind of introduction talk into tablet development for Android.
So, is this like this is my ignorance, is this like the Motorola Zoom type of thing? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like the Motorola Zoom. It's the new version of Android, which is 3.0. It's all based upon tablets and everything around that. So I actually brought in my Motorola Zoom today, and I'm kind of demonstrating it in the classroom, let someone play with it throughout the class.
Is 3.0 out yet, or
3.0 is out.
It is, okay.
It's out throughout like Motorola Zoom. I think it's the only one out there right now that has it, but there's a couple other that are coming out soon. I think Asus has one coming out.
Okay. Chris Black is here. He did a talk on, I think it's Playbook.
Yeah, BlackBerry Playbook, I think.
That's the one. And he was talking about the difference between that and the iPad, and then he also brought up the Motorola Zoom, the Android one. What would you say is the advantage, or what is interesting about the Android tablet environment?
I'd say that I can't really juxtapose it against anything BlackBerry related, because I haven't played with anything in the BlackBerry realm at all in such a long time, because in my mind they've been so far out of the picture, and now they're like in 4th place behind Windows Phone stuff, pretty much, in my opinion. So I can only juxtapose it against an iPad, which I do have one of those as well. And I think the strength of the Zoom actually comes from the fact that it's got the whole Android market behind it, and it's just taken off and has now gained more market share than iPhone. However, I have an iPad, and I like the iPad better right now.
Okay.
Mainly because the apps are more solid. There's more tablet apps for the iPad, and it's just kind of more of a greater user experience. However, each week the Zoom just keeps getting better because there's more and more tablet apps out there. And I can't say when, but maybe a couple of months out, I think the Zoom's going to catch up and hopefully surpass the iPad. The only thing that holds the Zoom back, and maybe other tablets, is the pricing point right now. Apple kind of owns their own pricing point, while Android doesn't control it because they're just the OS, and they have to push it off to the hardware manufacturers like Motorola, Asus, and whatever, and then they got to tack on their extra X%. So the pricing kind of gets bumped up a little higher than an iPad normally does, which is kind of a downfall when you're looking at like, hey, I'm going to get the cool new iOS product, or I'm going to go buy this new Android thing. Like, well, the iOS one is cheaper. It's the kind of the shiny one on the block.
Do you see Windows, do you see Microsoft coming out with a tablet-like thing in the near future? There's always been rumbles the last year or so, but nothing I've seen yet. So.
I can, if they don't, it's just going to be late to the game again, like they did with the phone. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's just like I'm going to explain in the talk today, it's a completely different form factor. So they had to rewrite Android pretty much halfway from the ground up. All the core components are still the same, so everything you know before still works just as it did before, but they kind of reworked the entire UI and the structure of how everything fits together for the new form factor of a tablet that's high that you can use 2 hands on, as compared to a phone where everything is just developed just for finger flicking.
Okay. I'm going to end with a totally different, non-related developer question, which is something I've noticed you've been talking about a fair amount on your tweets, which is CrossFit. And you seem to have really glommed onto that, really jumped onto that. So what is CrossFit?
So CrossFit is, and I just went to training this last weekend, so you're going to hear like the correct term. It's the constantly varied functional movement at high intensity. So that doesn't make any sense at all. But what it basically is if you guys have kind of seen like a P90X workout on television where you're like, okay, that looks like ridiculous and I don't know why anyone would want to do that to themselves.
Okay.
It's kind of like that, but probably 10 times as hard. You just, you literally go in there and like one, I think, Cindy, we have named workouts basically. After like heroes that have fallen in battle. So these are like real people that have died in Afghanistan and Iraq, and it's called like, one of them is called the Murph. And the Murph is, you put a 20-pound vest on, you go run a mile. This is all for time. You go run a mile, you come back, you do 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, I think 100 sit-ups, and then you go back out and run another mile, all with a 20-pound vest on, and go run it. And usually people get right around 45 to 70 minutes, and most people end up throwing up.
Yeah, I just got tired listening to that. Holy crap.
So an average workout, that's the most probably extreme one we have, but the average workout we have, you know, it ranges with a lot of functional movements. So normally you go to the gym, use the leg extension. I mean, when you go work out somewhere or in your day-to-day movements, when are you sitting there going, man, this is doing great. This helped me do my leg extensions. No, CrossFit is, you know, we're going to take a medicine ball or we're going to take 100 pounds of weight and we're going to do a squat with it, because you do a squat every time you sit down or you use the restroom or anything like that.
Right.
Sure. You can do pull-ups. You pull yourself up out of to the door. If you fall on the ground, you're going to pull yourself up. So it's all just functional movements and but just real high intensity.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks, Don.
Thanks.